You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Good evening, I'm Ariana Cohen. Melissa Bruner is on assignment.
And I'm Ralph Hipp. Welcome into the news tonight. We had a viewer tipping off the 13 News desk about one of Kansas's most wanted.
And now the hunt for Stephen Drake is over. The viewer tipped us of police activity just before 11 this morning. 40-year-old Stephen Drake Jr. was arrested around 11:30 along East 100 Road near the Kansas Turnpike along the Shawnee and Douglas County line. He was booked into Jefferson County Jail on 2 counts of aggravated interference with parental custody, aggravated assault, and endangering a child. He is being held without bond. He had been on the run with his 12-year-old son Andrew since October 16th when he is suspected of rear-ending his ex-wife's vehicle. Jefferson County Sheriff Sheriff Herrig says that Drake was spotted by a Kansas Highway Patrol trooper at a roadside park on 40 Highway this morning. The Kansas Highway Patrol, Lawrence Police, Douglas County, and Jefferson County Sheriff's Department and the KBI all assisted in the chase using the KHP helicopter to follow his path. Then about a half an hour later, Drake gave up without incident. Andrew was with Stephen at the time but was not hurt.
And we believe Stephen actually made a good choice at this time. He normally likes to run from law enforcement, but this time he did stop, and everything turned out really well at this point. But it was such a relief that we did catch him, and Andrew was fine.
This was the second time police caught up with Drake. At about 5 this morning, law enforcement officers located and confronted Drake in the 600 block of Southeast 34th Street in Topeka. During law enforcement's attempt to arrest him, he and Andrew escaped in a GMC pickup that was recovered at the scene during Drake's arrest. Well, it's been a crazy week for Kansas City sports, and the party continued.
A massive celebration today. Jonathan Deutsch, he's here now and joining us in the studio with the story. Jonathan?
Thanks, guys. If you were hoping to give someone a tour of downtown Kansas City today, that plan would have needed to change immediately. Today was parade day for the Kansas City Royals.
And what they wanted most was to come to this city for you fans and win a world championship for you guys. We celebrate that here today.
Whenever we hear you guys get up and get loud, it sparks up the whole entire team, and we can't thank you enough. And we're all just glad that the trophy's right where it belongs here in Kansas City.
Hey, guess what? Cy Young winner. Not on our team. Beat them. Rookie of the year. Not on our team. We beat them. MVP of the whole league. Sorry, guys, not on our team. But we beat that guy, too. Do you know why we beat him? Because all y'all people had our backs. And Dayton Moore put this team together. And Yost delivered it by being a captain of the ship. Y'all want to be politically correct? I'm the unpolitically correct person. We whooped their
Well, Johnny Gomes was certainly excited. According to Mayor Sly James, there were nearly 750,000 to 800,000 people in attendance today.
Thank you, Jonathan. We heard 250,000, 500,000, but over 750,000 people there. One of our local families came up with a unique way of congratulating the boys in blue. They're the Trainin family, transforming these hay bales on their property into baseballs. The Royals logo and the crown, of course. The hay bales were first decorated as minions for Halloween and transformed into their current state right after the Royals on Sunday night won the World Series. Angela Trainin said people began honking and stopping by to take pictures before the paint on these was even dry. Don't blame them. Angela said she couldn't make it to the parade today, so this was their way for her family to celebrate. The parade today might have given some longtime Royals fans a big case of deja vu. We flash back now 30 years. Gas was $1 a gallon. Ronald Reagan was president, and for the first time in history, your Kansas City Royals were crowned as the World Series champions. 13 News, even back then, 3 decades ago, brought you great coverage of that moment in sports history in '85. We're going to bring it to you again to see how the Royals celebrated their 1985 championship. We've got a great story on that from Tori Mason coming up tonight at 10. We'll see Tori in a little while with her story for the day, but right now we get to the weather. It's absolutely gorgeous over Union Station.
It is beautiful,
in KC.
unlike November.
That's right. Great time of the year, Jeremy, and what have you got for us tonight?
Hi, Ralph, Ariana. We've seen temperatures way above normal again today. Manhattan made it to 80. Topeka was 70. Right now, it's still very comfortable. Let's look outside from Emporia. That's the Emporia cam provided by ValueNet under a mostly clear sky. Sunset this evening was at 5:20 in Topeka, and it gets dark early this time of the year. Temperature is now 65 in Topeka, 62 for Emporia. Manhattan 68 with winds out of the south, still gusting over 20 miles per hour in Concordia. Tonight's low 58, mostly cloudy after midnight. South winds at 10 to 15, possibly some patchy fog. And then tomorrow, mid to upper 70, south winds 15 to 30. We'll see a chance of storms on Thursday, and temperatures will drop. We're talking 50s for highs by Friday. The complete 8-day forecast is coming up.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. Body cameras were the topic of discussion at the State House this afternoon. 13's Tori Mason attended today's hearing to listen in on the testimonies. Tori?
Ariana, the importance of video evidence was recognized more than 2 decades ago when Rodney King was assaulted by the LAPD in 1991. Both Kansas law enforcement personnel and state legislators agree that the use of body cameras are beneficial to both the officer and the public, yet all of state law enforcement isn't wearing them. A legislative panel on corrections and juvenile justice heard testimony concerning the statewide use of body cameras. Shawnee County law enforcers already utilize body cameras. Former Police Chief Ed Klump says officers are not opposed to wearing them. Klump says cost is the holdup for making these devices statewide.
One of the big issues with law enforcement is the community trust. And community trust can be improved by the use of video just simply because when we get a complaint, we can have verifiable information about exactly what went on.
Just for the Highway Patrol was over a $2 million fiscal note just to outfit them with the cameras. That didn't include warehousing the data or research to find the data. That's just one department. We got a lot more departments than that in Kansas.
Klump says that the cost to outfit just one law enforcement officer with a body camera is around $10,000.
Thank you, Tori. Concerned family and friends are out continuing to look for signs of a missing Mayetta woman. 70-year-old Joan Rebar was last seen in Meriden on September 25th. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office believes that she may have been driving from Meriden to the Prairie Band Potawatomi Reservation. According to a Facebook page dedicated to finding Rebar, a citizen search will be conducted tomorrow on the reservation. This will go from noon until 4. Volunteers are asked to sign in at the Boys and Girls Club in Mayetta before noon. Rebar is a Native American woman, 5 feet 6 inches tall and 230 pounds with blue eyes and brown hair. Rebar drives a 2005 silver Chrysler Pacifica with disabled Kansas license plate numbered 71664. Anyone with information on Rebar's whereabouts is asked to contact the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. Their number is 364-2251. Voters in Ohio are letting their voices be heard on the marijuana discussion. We'll have the latest.
Very interesting question in the Buckeye State. And it's that time to give back to others. From the 13 News, continuing after the break, we'll have the story of a local organization looking to Topeka to lend a helping hand.
You're watching 13 News at 6 with Melissa Bruner and Ralph Hipp. 13 News, Kansas News Leader. You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Is the highway to legalizing marijuana heading through the Midwest?
Voters in Ohio are casting their vote whether to legalize marijuana in their state. Issue 3 on the Ohio ballot would allow 10 companies across the state to grow and sell to the manufacturers and to retail stores, but not to customers. If it passes, Ohio would be the first state in the Midwest to approve medical and recreational use and would join Washington, Oregon, Alaska, and Washington, D.C. We will have the latest results tonight at 10.
This will be the 48th year in a row now. Our Topeka Community Thanksgiving Dinner is making sure everybody has a meal they can be thankful for. The annual meal to be held again Thanksgiving, November 26th in the Ag Hall of the Expo Center beginning at noon. You know all the work that goes into this every year. In order to serve everybody, donations will be accepted beginning the 18th of November. And we encourage you to get ready to drop off your canned green beans, instant mashed potatoes, stuffing mix, gravy mix, other much needed items through the 22nd. You can can do that at any Topeka fire station. Organizers say they also need 250 to 300 actual people, volunteers, to help volunteer and do jobs all throughout the week. And you'll need to call the Topeka Rescue Mission at 354-1744, then follow the prompts to volunteer for that. To have a meal delivered to your home, that number is 295-3998, 295-3998. Leave a message through the 20th of November. I'm sure we'll be repeating that information again. It's always a great event.
And it's online, too.
Yeah. Well, our highs today were in the 70s all throughout northeast Kansas, and how long will that last?
We'll have Jeremy's full forecast next.
This is your 13 weather forecast with Jeremy Goodwin.
We'll see a few clouds tonight across the area, but no chance of any rain. Tomorrow morning at the bus stop, we're expecting to see dry weather. Winds out of the south, maybe 5 or 10 miles per hour, but dry. Here's the bus stop forecast. We'll be in the upper 50s at sunrise. South winds 5 to 10, and a few clouds in the area, but again, it should be dry. Outside now from Menninger Hill, looking down Wanamaker from the Capitol Federal Skycam. It's dry, mostly clear overhead, and temperatures are way above normal today, all the way to 71 degrees. That is well above normal, not even close to record setting in Topeka. Look at this record low, however. It was 10 back in 1966 in this date, so certainly we'll take upper 40s for a low temperature and 71 for the high. Temperatures way above normal in both categories, but those records 10, extremely cold back in the 60s. We had a southeast wind reported in Concordia, 22 miles per hour. Now that the sun has gone down, the winds are not as strong as they were through the afternoon. And then tomorrow when the sun comes back out, we warm up, the winds will intensify again, very much like what we had today. A lot of 70s, maybe even touching 80 for some folks, and the winds out of the south at 15 to 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow's forecast looks a lot like what we had this afternoon. But today, we had 71 in Topeka, Manhattan 80, 73 for Emporia today, and Salina was 78. Again, average highs will be around 62. We're still above that, even more than an hour after sunset. Lawrence has 62 degrees, and the Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker showing mostly clear skies in our area. Zooming out, a taste of winter up here from Montana across parts of Idaho, where heavy snow is falling in parts of the Rocky Mountains. Out ahead of it, all this green in parts of Wyoming and even the Rockies of Colorado seeing some rain at this time. The colder air loft not yet working its way in here to create the snow in Colorado and Wyoming, but it will. And the whole system comes our way. We'll see rain out of it. It won't be cold enough for snow in our area. As a matter of fact, look at how warm it is tomorrow, mid to upper 70s. And then Thursday, finally seeing some changes as the cold front and the precipitation make the way closer to us. Kearney around 52. We'll be in the 50s by Friday for highs. Now, here come the changes on Thursday. Supercast showing temperatures close to 70 early afternoon. But as we get into Thursday afternoon and evening, here's some 50s and even some 40s by 7 p.m. in the Concordia area. That's behind a cold front. Now we'll check out the rain on Supercast here as well. The cold front starts moving in during the late morning, early afternoon hours on Thursday. Strong winds coming in from the northwest behind it. Of course, the Wildcats are playing at Bill Snyder Family Stadium at 6 p.m. against the Baylor Bears. Maybe dealing with some rain, even some lightning possible. I wouldn't expect to see the game rained out, but there may be some lightning and a short delay at the beginning, so something to watch for, and certainly cooler weather behind this system. So enjoy the warmth we have right now. It won't last much longer. Tomorrow, certainly be careful on those roads. 30-mile-per-hour gusts from the south, much like today, so be careful if you're driving, especially on those east-west highways where it could be the crosswind. So 70 on Thursday with rain, a high of just 59 on Friday, which is close to normal. But after getting spoiled the last several days with temperatures in the 70s, even close to 80, it's going to feel much cooler on Friday and breezy too.
More like November.
Yes, wish it is.
Got some 50s in there. All right. Thank you, Jeremy. And hope they got the lights fired up. It's pitch black dark out there, Ariana. You know that. High school football playoffs are also underway tonight. Find out which of our local teams are going to be in action.
And hear more about this day of celebration. Details of the Royals Parade coming up in 13 Sports.
13 Sports with Jonathan Deutsch.
Hello, everybody. You haven't officially won a title or a championship until there's a parade. You can lift the trophy, you can go out clubbing, but the parade, that's with the people, the fans. And and there were plenty of fans in Kansas City today. The parade began this afternoon between the Power and Light District and the Sprint Center. It made its way around to Grand Boulevard and then over to Main Street, where it ended near Union Station. It was 2.3 miles long, the parade route. Fans lined the streets as players had individual trucks driving them around through the parade. Eventually, players took turns with the microphone, speaking to the crowd and thanking them for their support throughout the entire season. This is the first parade the Royals have had since 1985, and Mayor Sly James said there were 800,000 people there. The Associated Press estimates it was closer to 1 million. If you want to see the parade or the rally, it's online at WIBW.com. There's plenty of memorabilia out there to commemorate the Royals World Series championship, including Nico Sports limited edition baseballs. One baseball commemorates the Royals all-star players, complete with a team photo of them taken at Cincinnati in July. Only 5,000 of these have been made. They're priced at $69.95, and all the proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Club. The other baseball is a salute to the World Series with the 2015 World Series logo. Fans can either call 1-800-345-2868 or visit nicosports.com. As much as we'll continue to talk about all of the wonderful things from this year's Royals run, we have to remember baseball season is over. It's getting colder outside, which Jeremy just told you, which means the football games are getting more meaningful, starting with high school football. The playoffs here in Kansas beginning tonight. The only high school games tonight, though, involving teams from the area are in 3A and 8-man. Sabetha plays Centralia at Sabetha. Silver Lake and Pleasant Ridge have a matchup as well. Nemaha Central will face Riverside, and Mar Hill will take on defending state champs Rossville. In 8-man, Burlingame takes on Rock Hills. For the other classes, high school playoffs begin on Friday night. To see all of the matchups, visit our website at WIBW.com. So we roll from the baseball playoffs straight in to the high school playoffs. Guys?
We do. Looking forward to that in Kansas Prep Zone on Friday night. By the way, I want to mention CBS has gotten the Chiefs-Chargers game November 22nd. We'll have that one for you. That'll be the 3 o'clock afternoon game that Sunday.
That's right.
Okay.
And Jeremy will be right back after this with another look at your weather.
This is your 13 weather forecast.
Temperatures still very comfortable right now after seeing highs in the low 70s, even some low 80s today. Right now we are in the 60s for the most part. 65 in Topeka, that's the latest report. Manhattan, 68 degrees. An average high for this time of the year is to be around 62 degrees. We'll be close to that as an overnight low at 58. A few clouds tomorrow, still warm. In the mid to upper 70s, strong south winds, and the 8-day forecast, we have a rain chance on Thursday as a cold front moves through. And look at the temperature drop from 80 today in Manhattan to a chance of rain on Thursday during the Wildcats game at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, and then a high of just 59 on Friday. Much, much colder, and yes, lows in the 30s for a couple of days.
Okay, Ariana, I just want to make sure everybody knows right now it's exactly 6:25. So we hope that earlier, a few days ago, you set your clock back so it's 6:25 and you're good to go from there.
And it's dark out now, a lot
Very
earlier.
Dark. I hope you made the change and got those batteries changed. Well, thanks for filling in for Melissa. I just want to mention Melissa Bruner and Doug Brown. They're on an amazing odyssey, and I'm not going to share with you, steal the thunder, what that is, but you've got to be watching 13 News over the next few nights of where they are and the reports they're bringing back, and you're going to be amazed by where they're going today and tomorrow. Well, that's it.
Yep.
Can I be
we'll
back
see
at
you
10?
tonight at 10.
Wheel of Fortune is on the way next, and then NCIS. Good night.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports at WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter, Facebook, and our mobile app. WIBW TV is proud to be named the 2015 Heartland Regional Emmy Award winner for Evening Newscast.